Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Isaac Wolf, and joining me on this lovely Doron episode is my wonderful co-host, Brandon Alvarado.
Yo,
Oh,
yo,
yo,
more Doron.
yeah, say that 10 times fast.
More Doron, 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 more Doron.
Yes. But how's it going, bud?
It's good. It's good. Excited to talk more about this awesome book, and excited that we we're turning it. It's uh, it's ending an arc and starting a very interesting arc. So starting and putting the seeds and they're planting seeds for the next arc. So very excited for what's coming for Doron. So should we jump right in?
I believe we should. And it's well, if you thought Mister Give Me Attention wasn't powerful enough, he sure showed his power now.
Yep.
That's for certain.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we left the crew, right? We had the Sword and Shield episode where Toda and Dora and Kusanagi were fighting against Tamemon, um, and they were both working as a sword and shield, where Dora was pretty much uh, gathering energy a la Kaioken, and then you had Toda working as a shield to block all of Tomei's that Mononoke that looks like E Honda. Hashtag Street Fighter, the best game ever. um, Blocking all those attacks. So we learned that Dora has acquired the ability or learned the ability or is perfecting the ability of harnessing Kusanagi's supernatural energy and increasing it in levels. So he has three whole levels of power. And when he reaches level three, he lands a strong critical blow on Tamemon, defeating him with one swift blow. And I want to showcase again that particular panel because it's actually pretty fantastic, and also a breath of fresh air, I would say, um, because I like the fact that they didn't waste time in saying stuff like, "Oh no, it's going to be another four arcs before we see our main character actually do something." You know what I mean? Like sometimes when there's like different power scalings in certain animes, the main character is always shown to be like a long ways off before we see him do something crazy, right?
Yeah.
So this is only chapter 17. This manga has been moving very swiftly, and then we see him land this powerful heaven and earth slash. And I love the fact that his style so far is called Merge Humanoke, which is actually pretty funny and pretty epic.
Mm.
And he just slices that guy in two, which is awesome. I love how raw it is. And again, Dragon Ball, Kaioken. I'm not ashamed of it, not one bit.
Yeah. But here we come to sort of I wouldn't say controversial chapter, but based on the reaction I saw. And that's the reason. That's the reason I say that is because he one shots two of these humanoids Mononoke are Mister. He one shots two of the humanoids Mononoke like it's nothing,
Yes, and
and
it's
people were wondering if this was an indication of that they were axing this series.
you. I don't think so. I mean, first off,
But we are going to then we have next chapter that we go. into the more why people are wondering, maybe not, so to speak, but building
Well,
those up and act in one-shotting those two, I can or should I say three, considering it Muslim man also. I can understand it, considering it's fairly into this chapter, but as a whole in that chapter, I mean, I can understand why he have a hard time understanding why people don't give him praise and all that, just because Jesus fucking Christ.
yeah, so we see that he's fighting Hidehisa, the one with the weird black kimono, which I have no idea who he is, who he or she is, I don't know. And then Yoshihime, which is the one that controls all the webs. But I think what I love about this chapter is that the first time we meet Uji, he's fending off Hidehisa, right? And we do see him cut Hidehisa in half, and Hidehisa kind of survived. And the only reason we never saw the ending of that fight was because Hidehisa gets that message from Yoshihime and leaves, right? But from that moment, we get a good sense of his power. But I love that this chapter pretty much lets you know this is what a samurai officer is capable of. And I do like that about this chapter. Because, yes, we see them all go face him head on, right? And and they try and put up a fight, but he is just overpowering them, one after the other. And I also do like though that they kind of like I what I like about the chapter is the fact of the complexity that we see from that one demon, the one that looks like a like a very intelligent person, which is
Yeah,
I don't know what the name is. The one that Uji says that he feels that he's seen her before or seen him before.
the leader,
Yeah,
so
the
to
leader.
speak. I can't recall the name.
Yeah. So I do like the fact that um he don't only like the main thing about this chapter is to show how strong samurais can be, which is awesome. To show how strong those how not crazy strong as we thought. Like these human mononokes would have been a threat to Dora, but not to him. And I like the fact that that makes it very clear where Dora stands in comparison to a samurai officer like Uji. Does that make sense?
Uji would, well, it's a good thing Uji saw that picture of Dora and Kusanagi, because Kusanagi would more than likely be dead if it weren't for that one.
Yeah. Oh well, you're skipping a chapter. Um,
I was talking about his using this picture, and then going back to the, I can't recall the introduction chapter of him, where he was about to killing Nagi, but Dora stopped him. If
oh
you,
yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah.
oh fuck.
Like so, so I don't know. I don't think they say the name of that particular Mononoke, which is this one right here, which I'm going to show off right now. But not only is he the leader of this bunch, or at least the leader of this bunch, Uji says that he thinks that he's seen this one before, and I find that very interesting. And it shows that this particular character is going to play a bigger role, especially when we go into chapter 19. Um, but like it does this ultimate attack to try and stop Uji, because Uji, I am sad that he disposes of Hidehisa very quickly.
I mean,
um,
they build them up so a couple of chapters, so I can understand the disappointment,
yeah,
and you
but
sort of like to worry about them canning it, because there is a rule of about U19, and sort of that if you don't get into that, and then it's a definite in U30, I believe.
But that being said, I do like the fact that they're they're showing off that of all these characters, the important one is this one, is the one that we're seeing right here. Like this is the one that's gonna drive the story moving forward. I like the fact that they're not just gonna randomly introduce another character. I like that they're gonna keep us in the mystery, but through a character that we've already seen, and we're gonna explore other sides of the world.
Yeah, but
Um,
I've honestly, I feel that as in its own chapter, it's rather anticlimactic, honestly, because it's so quickly.
yeah,
But but it becomes better once we get into chapter 19, because that gives you some more context.
yes,
If that makes any sense.
no, 100%. I believe. I think for a minute you kind of feel like you want to get more of the story and want things to be intense, right? And you want that battle to be epic and epic and epic. But I kind of appreciate the fact that they're not focusing on the battle, and they're not focusing on just showing off the characters. They're showing off Uji, but I like the fact that they're kind of giving more importance to the mystery that this character poses, and how this chapter sets that up as we go to the next one. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Now, this particular character does like this huge Mononoke attack that we assume leaves Uji destroyed. But of course, as we go to the next chapter, which is called Real Superheroes, which is the take on what Jinshiyo's father or grandfather was trying to see if Dora could become Dora and Kusanagi could become superheroes. Um, they think that it took out Uji, but no, for some reason, it was something very interesting that Uji survives. Um, and the coolest thing is that they kind of tease the idea that the blades of the samurai that we see have like a life of their own, because what pretty much they say is that if it wasn't because he used the supernatural energy that he had in the blade, he would have died.
yeah,
So I like
without a
the
doubt.
which makes me think that we'll see, which kind of makes me think of kind of a Kusanagi Dora relationship, in the sense of then being able to probably lock Mononoke power onto the blades. You know how like in Tokyo Ghoul they would take the what's the name of the traits of the ghouls? What was that name?
It was I can't recall. It was.
Um
I know that we have covered Tokyo Ghoul a
yeah.
while back, but it was a long time ago.
Okay, so Tokyo Ghoul weapon. There go King Case. King Case. So it reminds me of King Case and how the doves, like the human hunters, used to kill ghouls and make their King Case into weapons. So there's a little bit of that there. And how like Kusanagi is a living Kinkei, and kind of makes me think that samurai officers find ways to make themselves stronger by making their swords kind of like Kinkeis. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Especially with
And
that whole thing of how he survived thanks to his weapon. But then his weapon's broken, so he needs a new sword. And just in time for the Demon Slayer swordsmith's arc, right?
uh,
So
yeah, good point. Good point.
just in time. Um, but yeah. So He
It's
does.
it's
There,
uh, it's all one thing that I do love the whole thing about how in Kusanagi when they get back to base, how the people sort of react to him, so to speak.
yes, yes. So much love on our favorite Pokemon.
But Dora, they just fuck off, basically.
Yes, yes. It's kind of hilarious how Kusanagi becomes the center of attention because he's cute as hell, right? And of course, you got to understand, it's unprecedented. They never knew that there would be a Mononoke that they could trust. So you see that kind of manifest here. It's very Pokemon, very Digimon of them. Um, so so yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Now I do like though that even though they're all kind of like being dicks to Dora, like Kusanagi goes out of his way of to say, hey, no, hey Dora, let's have the Yoriyaki together, which by the
Yeah,
way makes it even more ridiculously cute.
I mean, it's Kusanagi we are talking about.
Yes, yes. Now,
And
good.
then we have two things, sort of like bombshells,
Yes,
if you ask
yes,
me.
and they're
And
huge.
and then
Yes.
what is someone that is genre for Dora? Who the heck that one is? We don't know. But then another big thing is
So Dora has like
reason.
Dora has like a stalker. That's the
Yeah,
first
Dora
one,
has a
right?
star,
Yeah.
and then we have a trader plot in this show. It was a show. Sorry, Freudian slip. In this manga, where a samurai is working with the Mononokes,
Yep. Or vice
and
versa.
or vice versa.
I mean, we're led to believe that the name of this guy, the name of the so first off, the first big thing is that the particular demon that Uji was fighting at the end actually survived.
Yeah,
And now the interesting thing here is is that he's called Master Kambe and he has samurais under his employ. And they're all still trying to figure out um they're trying to figure out how strong samurai officers are, how they can take him down. They're trying to come up with strategies to just destroy the core, right? But also, the biggest crazy thing is that apparently Dora and Kusanagi play a key role in this. And because apparently they're trying to break a seal, and apparently the supernatural energy that Dora and Kusanagi are able to develop is particular. And I don't know, man. This sounds like Big Bad to me. Like we finally got a glimpse of who is the big bad or very close to the big bad. And it kind of and it's kind of it's kind of cool, but also kind of very predictable at the same time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because we all knew that it was going to be like um like Mononoke is trying to come to the real world or vice versa. And now that they mention that there's a seal, it's kind of like a story that we've heard before, but so far we've always talked about how this particular book has innovated a lot of different things. So I kind of hope that it keeps happening because I like where the plot's going. Yeah.
yeah.
there's a traitor in our midst. I mean, to be fair, these kind of anime stories, I mean, there's always a traitor.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
Sleazy bastards. But yeah, it's a lot of cute moments, big bombshells. What a way to close this arc, this village arc, right? Um, with
Yeah.
Dora having its first official mission as a professional samurai, actually being part of the core. Um, now, what I like about it is that we can look back to these first 19 chapters, right? And these they fly. Like it's so much story happens in just these 19 chapters. Like it's going like I'm 1,000 miles an hour, but the pace is still good and satisfying. So I'm happy. Do you like where this is going? Do you want them to try something different, or are you overall just concerned?
I like it so far. It's just, yeah, I'm always just, how should I put it? Worried at the beginning if it's gonna be canned or not, but that's just me in general, no matter how popular it seems to be.
Yeah.
You never know, you know.
True. True, true, true. True, true, true. Okay, man. We've done it. We're caught up with Doron.
Yeah, we certainly caught up with Doron.
So, guys, thank you for joining us. If you've loved this book so far, I mean, we've really enjoyed Doron Dororon ever since we started covering it. We want to hear your thoughts. Want to hear what you think about it. Make sure to let us know your thoughts on Doron on our Twitter page at the Amateur Otaku Pod, also in the comment section or our YouTube channel. If you love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, make sure to click on that like button, subscribe, and click on the bell for notifications so you guys don't miss any single episode of the Amateur Otaku Podcast. If you want to hear us in podcast form, go check us out. Amateur Otaku Podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, wherever podcasts are found. Isaac, people can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter, at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram and TikTok. Where can people find you, brother?
Well, you can find my work over at Wilbam Entertainment, and you can find me over at Emblemaniac on Twitter.
Awesome. We'll see you next week, guys. Have it awesome.
Peace.